Shalom, shalom. I want to first give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rakakadash. Double honor to our apostles, the great millstone, and the elders who rule well over the flock and taught us this truth. Peace and mercy to all you occupants laboring in this truth and sincerity. Coming at you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, to America. I just want to do a quick edifying lesson to feed the Lord sheep of Israel, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the Lord's chosen nation of people, the only nation on this planet that has salvation coming to us. And I just want to really touch upon, just some current events and prophecies that's actually being fulfilled. Lord willing, it's edifying. I'm gonna get straight to it. Bear with me for 1 second. I'm gonna just flow through the spirit. Joel 2:1. And it reads, "Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, for it is nigh at hand." And that's what's going on right now. Okay, that's what's going on right now. We're blowing the trumpet in Zion. When you go into the word Zion, in the Hebrew it's to Zion, which is the Lord's monument. Okay, and who's the Lord's monument? Israel. Right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We are the nation, that peculiar nation that the Lord chose to be above all nations. That special treasure. Okay? The only reason why we're in this predicament that we're in so far as the bottom of every society is because we're serving a sentence. Okay? We're under these curses that's spoken about in Deuteronomy 28 chapter and the 15th verse. Okay? And going up. Okay, so he's going to place us back into Egypt a second time. Okay, Egypt representing the house of bondage, which is America. America is biblically known to be what? The daughter of Babylon, and also spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Sodom and Gomorrah was a wicked city that practiced a whole bunch of abominable acts like homosexuality, bestiality, just like America, but was destroyed with fire and brim, just like this place is going to be, man. And that destruction is drawing nigh. Okay? So I'm going to read it one more time. It reads, Joel 2:1, "Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let the inhabitants of the land tremble. For the day of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, cometh. For it is nigh at hand." And that day is coming. Okay? That day is clearly right around the corner, man. Okay? Because all of the prophecies that was left for us to know that time is coming is actually being fulfilled. Okay, that's why we sounded an alarm. Okay, the spiritual notification is going off on our clock. Okay, so let me read this real quick. This is 2nd Ezra 9:1. Okay, because this is how we know, our salvation is near, man. We about to get rescued from this hellhole, man. Because that's what America is, man. Right? Babylon. When you go into the word Babylon is what? Babal. Confusion. And America is that daughter of confusion, man. Alright? With all the ancient heathen customs that they have put upon our people, after they got into power. Look what had happened, man. Like it's spoken about in Job 9:24, the world was given into the hands of the wicked. Okay? Who's the wicked? Okay, Esau Edom, the so-called white man. He's the one that's currently ruling right now, man. Okay, and they have conspired. All right, Esau Edom and the other nations pertaining to Psalms the 83rd chapter. They have conspired to place us into bondage, man, to further our affliction, to keep us discontinued from our power. Okay, they Esau, the Lord tells you in the scriptures that for one, he rules in the kingdom of men. Okay, so this is the Lord navigating this whole show. Yeah, that's why the scripture also talk about the left and the right hand is his. Right, the deceive and deceiver is his. Right, he controls both sides of the spectrum. That's why the Lord also tells you what? That the wicked, which is the Lord's sword, man. All right, the wicked is spoken about in Psalms, the 17th chapter, 13th verse. Okay, the wicked is the Lord's sword. All right, and that's Esau Edom. All right, because he was blessed with the sword. All right, and he is the wicked. He is the wicked. When you go to Malachi 1 and 4, it verifies that. Okay? They are the border of wickedness, man. And look at their trap sheet, man. You know? If that's not enough, look at their trap sheet. Go into the history of these goddamn devils, man. And it's clear to see that they the wicked that the Lord was speaking about. Okay? The biblical Edomites. Because Esau will tell you that we ain't the Lord's chosen nation of people, but they are, which is contrary to the scriptures. Okay? Contrary to their identity in the earth. Alright? They'll tell you they somebody else except for who they are, man. And that's the trait of a devil. Okay? That's clearly a trait of a devil. Alright? But through process of elimination, we know that they Esau. And what the scriptures talk about with Esau, right? 2nd Ezra 6 and 9 tell us that the end of Esau's kingdom is the beginning of Jacob that followeth. You know? And speaking of reference to the Edomite rule, starting from the Greeks, going down to the Romans, even when they fell, you know, they was cast out, that's spoken about in Revelation for 1,000 years. And they was loosened after that. You know, that 1,000 years was the time frame we was ruling, the Dark Ages. Okay, then it was then you know, the Lord allowed them to get back into power, right? To deceive the earth. Okay? It was loosened, right? For a season. Okay? Because they still had a job to do. And we talking in reference to the Renaissance era. Okay? When our Lord and Savior was on the scene, it was during the Edomite rule, the Roman Empire. Okay? During the course, the time frame of Pax Romana, Roman peace. Okay? That's when they was at the peak of their empire. But now this empire is falling. Okay? And like the scripture said, the end of Esau's kingdom is the beginning of Jacob that followeth. You know? And that's what we're seeing right now, because their whole existence is rotting away. You know? They were self-destructive to their self. Okay? So, Salaki, I don't want to ramble too much. This is back in 2nd Ezra 9 and 1. He answered me then and said, measure though the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before. And what the Lord had told us before, this is how we know we in the end of times. You know, this is not just us, you know, just waking up and coming up with this stuff, man. This is the Lord putting it in our spirit to understand, to discern the times. Giving us the eyesight to see, you know, because the scriptures talk about those that's not going to be able to see, all right? And now those are the ones that can't get this doctrine. The ones that the Lord is not supping. The undesirable ones, all right? Ultimately, the 2/3 that's reincarnated into their lot for judgment. Because according to the scriptures, everybody's reincarnated into their lot. But those that actually can see this, okay, the ones that don't have that spirit of slumber on them, all right? That perpetual judgment until the time of judgment to be destroyed by thermal and nuclear missile and many different forms of judgment that the Lord got laid out for the wicked, man. Wicked Israelites, man. You know, and best believe He's coming to take care of these heathens too. They're gonna serve their judgment. They're gonna get their punishment. Okay? But I'm gonna read it one more time. It said, he answered me then and said, measure though the time diligently in itself. That's what we're doing. We're measuring the time diligently in itself. In order for you to measure anything, you need an instrument, a tool, you know? And he's talking about spiritually measuring time. And that tool that he has given us to measure the time is these scriptures, all right? It says, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I've told thee before, all right? What did the Lord tell us before? Matthew 24th chapter, you know? He warned us about the false prophets, which we see this, nothing but false doctrines being highly promoted. You know, you can start from the churches and different religion branches, even those that's awoken to the truth, woken to their identity. They still are misleading the flock, promoting false doctrines, not promoting the sound doctrine, the purity of the scriptures. Okay? But he also said what? When you see rumors of wars. It's not Russia and Ukraine right now going through it, and America and the NATO and the EU, all right? America being that whore that sit up upon many waters, the other nations, all right? That whore that sit up upon that dragon, that seven-headed beast, which is the NATO, the EU, okay? Are we not seeing them gearing up for war? The scriptures also spoke about what? The second woe pass, roughly paraphrasing, the third woe cometh quickly. Are we not seeing woes representing destruction? Speaking of reference to World War II, it also spoke about World War I too. But now it says the third woe coming quickly. Are we not seeing that? All right. Are we not seeing that? With all of this that's going on right now, that the nations is gearing up for war. Like I spoke about Joel. Okay, I believe the 3rd chapter. Turn your plowshares into pruning hooks. Turn your plowshares and pruning hooks into swords. These nations, Slovakia has advanced in technology and military might, and they're not those puny, weak nations anymore. Like the scriptures say, let the weak say I am strong. All these other nations have nuclear capabilities. We're seeing this currently right now going on, and we're filtering throughout the scriptures. Okay? That's why the Lord said, measure though the time diligently within itself. Because we're actually seeing these things actually come to pass, man. Being diligent. Because that's what the Lord told us, commanded us to do. All right? He said, ye all shall not sleep, but shall be changed. And that's what's going on right now. Okay? We standing upon our watch. All right? We seeing that, at the end of the day, World War III is not just going to pop off like that. The scripture also said what? The least of the flock shall draw them out. Are we not seeing, this tension going on with Iran and Israel? All right? We seeing these things actually coming into existence, but actually seeing, the AI technology being pushed, all right, the charagma being instituted in gradually, okay, which is the MOTB, all right. We seeing these things, all right. The Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahushua for giving us the eyesight to actually see, all right. But this is what's going on right now, all right. It says earthquakes in diverse places. We're seeing that, famine. All right, they're talking about there's going to be a blackout this summer. Okay, like the Apostle Tahar said, this might very well be, the break of Jacob's trouble that's spoken about in Jeremiah the 30th chapter and the 7th verse. This is the time for brothers to be on point and use wisdom in these times. Prepare. It reads, verse 2, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Yeah, because now the Lord is about to strip these devils out of their power, and Yahweh about to send back his son Yahweh Shah to come to save his people, all right, and come for his vengeance, man. Okay, come for his vengeance, man. And it's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful time we in. The hour of temptation is approaching. This is time for us to be gearing up for battle, man. Like the scriptures say, and I always quote it, man, put on the whole armor. That's spoken about in Ephesians 6 and 11, that ye may be able to fight on the wiles of the devil. This is the time for us to be studying, to show ourselves approved as much as possible. Turning up in the spirit, because the Lord is turning up. We got to turn up. Praying more, fasting more, because that's the thing about fasting. Fasting is essential to purge off all the desires of the flesh, to be able to weaken Satan's strategy to break you, man, because there may be certain things that you may be vulnerable to that you may not even see, okay? And this is the time, measuring the time diligently within itself. This is the time for us to be armoring up, preparing for whatever blows Satan may try to throw to break us, man. Okay? It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, right, then shalt thou will understand that the Most High spoke of these things from the beginning that were before thee, even from the beginning. And that's exactly what we're seeing going on right now. All you got to do is turn on the news, man. Globally is uproars. All right, we dealing with a pestilence that we was warned about as well. All right. Numerous amount of things, not too long ago, it's a new pestilence that's on the upbring, it slipped my mind the name of it, but it's many different shapes and forms of prophecies, all right, that's actually being fulfilled. We're seeing them, okay? We're seeing that knowledge that was increased. We seen it all. That was written, like the Lord said. Then shall, I'm gonna read again. Then shall thou will understand that the Most High spoke of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Yeah, because he declared the end from the beginning. You know, he designed this whole thing, man, and it's playing out according to his will. So all we got to do is keep fighting, you know, and keep training, you know, getting ready in the spirit to endure the, you know, the war to come, and our salvation draweth nigh, man. You know, this is a beautiful time for brothers, but not for the world, you know. But it's still a serious time for brothers to really be sober, like the scripture said, be sober and vigilant, because Satan, thy adversary, like a roaring lion, is seeking who he may devour. Okay? So I just briefly want to touch upon that through the Spirit. Lord willing, was edifying. I'm going to close out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, double honors our apostles and elders, and great millstone taught us the truth, over the flock. Peace and mercy to all you Akim that's laboring in this truth with sincerity. Till the next time, Lord will. Shalom.